we're back with another edition of TV Talk. It is Thursday, and that means it is Legend of Korra Day, and this week's episode was Leaf in the Wind. Having arrived in Republic City, Korra is extremely excited to go see professional vendors. However, Aang's son basically forbids her from doing so, saying that professional vendors bring a mockery to the art of vending. However, being the teenager that she is, Korra sneaks out and not only befriends someone on one of the professional vending teams, but offers her assistance when he needs help. And in doing so, learns a little about airbending. Okay, things I like about this episode. I basically loved everything about this episode. First off, I'm going to do a little comparison here between Korra and Aang. We are seeing a drastically different airbender, or avatar, with Korra as we are with Aang. They're both fun-loving. Aang was very, very fun-loving, and Korra is very, very fun-loving. But what we're seeing here is, and I'm not going to say drastic, I said drastically, I shouldn't have said drastically, but Aang was a little more inclined to listen to those who were teaching him, even Zuko, whereas Korra, when she's training with airbending, because we don't really see her training with the other ones, she's already learned all that, she's a little more, I don't want to say rigid, but she's having problems grasping it. Where, granted, Aang had trouble with grasping things. Earth bending was extremely hard for him. We know he had trouble with earth bending, and he also struggled with fire bending to a degree, and a little bit of trouble with water bending as well. But I think water bending was a little easier for him because it was, from what I've seen of him learning, very similar to airbending as air and water both flow. So it was very easier. The waterbending was extremely easier for him. But we're seeing Korra struggle with the airbending. And we also see her being very, very defiant with Aang's son, whose name escapes me at the moment. And this is, very typical. She's a teenager. Teenagers, by definition, tend to be a little defiant. They don't want to be treated as kids. They want to be treated as adults, but they're not exactly adults. They're kind of stuck in that place where they're not quite adults, but they're not kids. And they don't want to be treated like kids, but the adults kind of taking care of them or assuming responsibility of them kind of want to treat them like kids, and they want to be, but the teenagers want to be treated like adults, and they're not quite adults yet. So it's kind of that tumultual time in life where things get interesting, and Korra is at that point in her life. She is a teenager. She is at that point in her life where I don't want to say is being defiant, but she wants to push the boundaries a little bit. And even more so than the average teenager, because for a good chunk of her life, she was basically kept at a fortress in the South Pole. And she did not experience the real world outside of books and radio. And she wants to explore the Republic City and whatnot. And I do not blame her for that. I would want to explore if I had been isolated as well. And I think the problem here is that Aang's son, and I'm going a little off topic, and I do apologize for that, is kind of intent on keeping her safe, and we'll get back to that in a minute. With Aang, and I'm sorry if I'm turning this into a comparison video. I will be done at this point, I promise. Aang was fun-loving and whatever. Aang was 12 years old. He kind of was still a kid, or a preteen, or a tween, or whatever the heck you want to call him. He was in that phase of life where he, was still basically a kid. kid, and he still wanted to just kind of have fun and goof off, which is what he did, but he could still, when it was time to train and whatnot, he could focus and learn. Korra's kind of, she can focus, she's learning, she's trying to learn throughout this episode, but she's kind of butting heads with Aang's son a little bit. Which brings me to my next point. I did like that to a degree because, number one, she's a teenager. Teenagers are going to butt heads with the adults that are under their care, who are not under their care, who are giving them the care and guidance. And Aang's son, at this particular point in time, is giving Korra care and guidance. He and his wife have basically taken her in and are responsible for her. And, you know, being the typical teenager that she is butting heads with Aang's son. And it's also interesting because while Aang's son is a father, his kids are not teenagers. They are still in that child phase. So this is kind of uncharted territory for him. He is used to these kids that are like, okay, well, Daddy's training us in airbending, so we've got to listen, kind of thing. And that's what he's kind of used to. He's not used to a teenager who questions everything. So I think it's interesting to see this. And also, I feel that this is, while it has no point in the story, Korra is a nice trial period. Her training with him is a nice trial period for him for when his own children become teenagers. Which absolutely has nothing to do with the story, but I just kind of wanted to point that out. Secondly, we see Korra struggling with airbending. And usually they say that the opposite, because they mentioned this in Avatar, The Last Airbender, and they say that the opposite bending style of the bending style that the Avatar is born into is the one they struggle with the most. And we do see this in Avatar. Aang was born into the air nomads, so he was born into airbending. So having to learn earthbending was a struggle for him. We see this in Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it is mentioned in this episode. So you would think Korra, having been born into the water tribe and being born a waterbender, that the one element or the one type of bending that would give her the most trouble would be firebending. And it's not. It is wind or airbending that is giving her problems. And I think she kind of hits the nail on the head when Aang's son is explaining to her what airbending is all about. He's saying that airbending is all about being free and everything. And she comes up and said, well, she actually starts laughing. And why she starts laughing, and this is very important, is because while he is saying that airbending is all about being free, he has all these restrictions on her to where she can't feel free. So that's what I find kind of funny. And another point I want to make here is that it's not until she meets these friends who are professional benders that she actually grasps airbending. And the reason being is that she is allowed to, while she is under some pressure, she is allowed to basically be herself and let loose. And that's what she needed to learn to do airbending. She still has a way to go with airbending, but she's making steps in that direction to learn, which is good. But again, this kind of, what I like about this is that they are showing that, granted, yes, there is a traditional way to learn, and that is what Aang's son is using. He's set in, this is how we are learning airbending, because this is how I was taught airbending, this is how my father was taught airbending, this is how I'm teaching my children airbending, so this is how I'm going to teach you airbending, and his kids are getting it. And because his kids are getting it, he feels that this is the correct course of action for Korra. But she's not getting it. But when she sets herself free and does this professional bending with her new friend and his brother, she picks up on it, and she learns it fairly quickly. There's no one way to learn, guys. Even in the real world, there is no one way to learn. traditional schooling, which is great. You go in, you do lectures, you do tests and whatnot, but some kids just don't learn that way. I did not learn that way. I could not go in, sit in a lecture, read a textbook, and take a test. I could learn the stuff, I knew the stuff, it's just when I went to take the test, I had problems with it. I learned more through, I am more of a kinetic and an audio learner. I'm more of a kinetic and visual learner. I learn by doing and seeing. So if I see something and I do something, I retain it a lot more than if somebody tells me to do something. Because there are actually 3 types of learning. There's audio, kinetic, and visual. Visual is seeing someone do something. Kinetic is actually doing it, like projects or stuff where you have to do the research and whatnot. Audio is lecture. And it's translating here. It's like there is no one way, they're actually saying there is no one way to learn bending. The way that Aang's son is trying to teach bending, that worked for him, that's working for his kids. That worked for his dad over 100 years ago. Not working for Korra. She has a different learning style, and he had to understand that he had to let go of this traditional way with her, and let her learn through her own style. And she may have found her own style. Okay, thirdly, things I liked about this episode, because I kind of want to wrap up this sequence. We are introduced to 2 new characters, and those are the brothers that kind of become Korra's friends, and their names escape me at this time. And these 2 are very unique. They're brothers, but they're 2 completely different types of benders. One is an earth bender, and one I believe is a fire bender. Which leads me to believe that their parents, one is from the Fire Nation and one is from the Earth Kingdom, if their children have 2 different types of bending. They don't come out and say it, but that's kind of with them having the 2 different types of bending leads me to believe. We also, number 4, are introduced to what is becoming a very popular sport within the world of Avatar, and that is professional bending. It is like a sports team. It is like an all-star sports team where you have a bender from each of the 4 different elements on the team, and they do bending, and whoever's the last team standing is the winner, is what I kind of got from the episode. Hopefully there will be more on professional bending later on down the line. But I did like that. We're learning more about the culture, the new cultures of this world of Avatar, which is to be expected. I mean, Korra is away from this sanctuary that she grew up in, and she's out in the real world. She is not being coddled and sheltered anymore. I mean, she is, but she isn't. So as she is learning more about this new world of the Avatar, we are learning more about this new world of the Avatar, which I find very exciting. From what I'm seeing and understanding, it is very different from the way it was back in Avatar: The Last Airbender. I mean, it's the same but different. And I really look forward to seeing more of what this new world is, and hopefully seeing characters from the parent series, as I like to refer to Avatar: The Last Airbender. I mean, we have already seen Korra, not Korra, Katana, I believe is her name. I forget her name. We've already seen the waterbending girl from Avatar: The Last Airbender. Her name just escapes me at the moment. Toph has been mentioned. We have not seen her. I don't know if we will see her. I don't know if Toph is still alive in this series or not. But she has been mentioned. So she has been mentioned. Whether or not we will see her is another story. Sokka, he's been mentioned. I don't think we'll see him because Katana is, I believe, her name, mentioned losing him. So I don't know if that means he passed away or whatnot. No spoilers, please, if you know the fate of these characters. Zuko, I know from other videos I've seen that link to Yuki, again, I don't know, she hasn't been mentioned, but I don't know where she is in this series. I hope she's still alive, but we don't know where she is at this point in time. And Aang, we obviously know Aang is not alive if Korra is the new airbender. But I am hoping that as Aang was in Avatar The Last Airbender, was getting advice from Avatar, from the previous Avatar, his name escapes me, that Korra will be getting advice from Aang via the spirit world. So we will hopefully, if that is true, be getting to see the spirit form of Aang as an adult, which I am looking forward to if we actually do. Okay, something I didn't like about this episode. There really wasn't anything I didn't like about this episode. I thought it was very thought out. It introduced two characters that we will more than likely be seeing more of, and it introduced the new sport that is very popular within Republic City and possibly within the world of Avatar. And it touched on something that I feel is very important in the real world as well. So nothing I had any issues with in this episode. Okay, feel free to follow me. Please feel free to leave your comments and questions in the comment section. I do love to read those. Please like and share if you're watching this video on Facebook, or like and subscribe if you haven't already if you're watching on YouTube. Feel free to follow me on Wattpad, Tumblr, Instagram, and Twitter. I know I have a DeviantArt up there, but I am no longer on DeviantArt as I cannot log into my site on there. Also, please, I will have the links for the sites I am still a part of in the description section. Also, please note that all pictures seen within this video belong to the respective artists. I own absolutely nothing. Okay, a quick reminder on my comment rules. Okay, feel free to check out my related Avatar videos. My other Legends of Korra videos, or in this case, video. My other TV Talk videos. My other videos, and my other videos. Okay, before I sign off, a couple of things I'd like to touch on. First off, for my YouTube subscribers, any of my backlog videos that are not on YouTube are on my Facebook page. I will have the link in the description section. Facebook friends, same deal. Any of my backlog videos that are not on Facebook are on my YouTube channel. I will have the description in the, or I will have the link in the description section. Also, it's not on there, but I do want to throw this out there. I have a group on Facebook, called Fanfic Corner. If you'd like to join, it is a group where you can read and or post fanfics and or short stories. We also accept fan art. I do encourage your own short story fanfics and fan art, but if there is like fan art or a fanfic or short story that you like, that you want to share, that not necessarily was written by you, can just be sure to credit the author or the artist. Please also keep in mind that if you do not know who wrote the fanfic or short story or who did the fan artwork, I do accept author unknown and artist unknown as crediting, because you're basically saying I don't know who did this, but I'm not taking credit for it myself. So that on Fanfic Corner, that is acceptable. Unknown is acceptable. Just be sure to include that, please, if it's not your work. Also, I would like to apologize apologize for not posting a video in a really long time. Things have just been crazy daisy for a while for me. Okay, lastly, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. will be put on hold relatively soon, by the fall, and also by the fall, Dragon's Race to the Edge will be coming to an end. So that means that there will be an opening for a new TV Talk series for Friday and for Sunday. And that also means that you guys get to vote and let me know which show you would like me to do a review video on, or a series of videos on. Excuse me. Your choices are for Friday, Knights of the Zodiac, My Little Pony, King of the Hill, and Wolf's Reign. For Sunday, Dot Hack Sign, Horseland, Inuyasha, and Outlaw Star. Voting is very simple. All you have to do is write down which one of the 4 shows listed for a particular day that you would like me to do a video on, and or like or love a positive comment on one of the shows listed for that day. You do not have to say which day. I will know by the title of the show, and whichever one gets the most votes is the one that I will do a video on, or I will do a series of videos on. Please keep in mind that negative comments and dislikes do not count as votes. If My Little Pony is chosen for Friday, I'll be doing Generation 1 or My Little Pony and Friends, and My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I will not be doing the in-betweens, mainly because I do not have them. And if Knights of the Zodiac is selected for Friday, because it was a very short-lived TV series, once I am done with it, rather than have you re-vote, because you'll basically be voting once I start the show, or start the review videos, I will just go over to the show that had the second highest votes. Voting will be until October 16th for Friday and November 1st for Sunday. I will give you updates if I have to change that. You may vote as many times as you wish, but please keep in mind that in the event of a tie or no votes, I do have the final say. So far, the votes stand thusly: 1 vote for My Little Pony for Friday, and 1 vote for Horseland for Sunday. However, you still have plenty of time, so please be sure to get your votes in and make your voices known. As always, thank you for watching, and have a very nice day.